In this video, we will be discussing the concept of a parasocial relationship. A parasocial relationship is defined as a set of feelings that viewers develop toward media characters or personalities that allow the viewers to think and feel toward the characters as if they know them and have a special connection with them. This is a concept that's been widely studied both in terms of the development of these parasocial relationships and in terms of the influence of these relationships on viewers. Parasocial relationships are understood to be an integral and important part of people's social relationships, and the distinction between a social and a parasocial relationship is increasingly complex and hard to define. And so these relationships develop when you see the same character over and over and over again. You can see them repeatedly for years and years if the show is successful. And you've come to feel like you know the person. It may also be not just on TV, but in things like listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, these kinds of things can help you develop that feeling that you know the person as well as you know your actual friends. And what's important to recognize is that these are different relationships, but they're not always experienced completely differently. But one of the main things I want to be clear about is this is something that we all sort of develop to various levels. You may not have an intense relationship with a character in a fictional TV show, but you may think you know that YouTuber that you watch every week fairly well. You may not have ever thought of it in these terms, but you may have experienced the feelings that are related. And so this isn't a pathologizing thing. This isn't only people that have some kind of mental disability would think that the people they see on TV are their friends or something. It's something that we all have to varying degrees. You may just catch yourself thinking about how you know that podcaster you listen to pretty well. You feel like you know a lot about them. And that's not really a real relationship either. They're just making content and putting it out there. They don't know you at all. And so it's important to recognize, even if you may not have had the language, the terminology to define a parasocial relationship, it's something you may have probably experienced. And if you look in the PowerPoint, I've included a couple of links. The first to a video that's part of a series that's a fairly long set of videos about parasocial relationships. And I've included the video mostly because the creator does a good job of discussing how parasocial relationships relate to YouTube and social media in a way that the article we're looking at that's more about a TV show isn't really able to do. And then the other video I've included, really just need to watch the very beginning of it if you're interested. It's a video released by Polygon. It's a video game news and analysis website. And the creator, Brian David Gilbert, in the video, he makes some comments about the feeling that a lot of people have over ownership of media personalities. That because you listen to them regularly and you feel like you know them, that this somehow gives you some kind of ownership over them. And this is a way this kind of parasocial relationship kind of is exhibited. In the video, he's kind of commenting on the fact that he changed his appearance a little bit. He cut his hair, he grew a mustache, and when he first released images of his new look. People were upset. Oh, how could you do this? How could you cut your hair? Change it back. Do all that. And he's like, nope. I'm my own person. You don't have a say in what I do just because you watch my videos. And so if you want to look at parasocial relationships in newer media, I definitely recommend those links. But when we're thinking about parasocial relationships, we're interested in, one, their impact on viewers. Research has consistently found that relationships with TV characters don't replace relationships with friends, but rather complement social relationships. So it's not this thing that like the people that have a parasocial relationship are disconnected from reality and don't understand that the people they see on TV aren't their actual friends. It's more that they use these relationships, the comfort they feel of having this person that they can see fairly regularly, to complement their social relationship. So maybe you don't get to see your friends all that much because you've moved off to go to college, and so you're missing that regular contact you had. And so getting to read someone's Twitter feed regularly or watch their YouTube videos or listen to them on a podcast, it makes you feel like, oh, hey, I kind of know this person. I'm hearing about their life, to kind of fill in this lonely time you might be experiencing as you transition to a new place. And so they don't replace our primary social relationships, but can help keep people company, and like ordinary friendships serve to provide people with social enjoyment and learning. And so a lot of times, again, parasocial relationships are for those moments when you're kind of feeling lonely. I gave the example of moving to a new town, but often older people rely on these relationships a lot because maybe they don't see people as much. They're an elderly person, you live in a nursing home, and your family comes to see you once a week, but outside of that, you don't really see people very much. And so getting to watch the Price is Right every morning or the news every evening and see the same people and feel like, oh, hey, I know what's going on in these people's lives, helps to complement those existing relationships. An important thing about parasocial relationships as well is that they extend beyond the moment of viewing. It's not just that you have a strong sense of connection with the character as you're watching them, but it's something that persists. Even after the episode is over, you're still kind of thinking about them, you're wondering what they're going to do next, you're making predictions because you feel like you know them, and this is what I think is going to happen next time. And so it continues from one situation to the next. It's a media effect that persists over time. But it originates from these repeat viewings of characters that simulate a social interaction. So the person is talking to you in a one-on-one fashion as if it was a conversation between the two of you. You're seeing them, even the way a sitcom is filmed makes it feel like you're right there. You're not looking at them from above or something as if you're some spirit or angel or something watching them from up above. You're right there with them. It's like you're another person sitting in the room too. And so the way these things are made makes you feel like you're part of the group. And so these develop and strengthen over time. Usually you're not going to have a parasocial relationship with a character just when you see them once. It's often something that has to go over time. And there's be some interesting research, for example, if the sort of binge watching streaming release schedule affects the ability to develop a parasocial relationship with a character. If you watch Stranger Things only when the new episodes come out every couple years or something, it might be harder to have that relationship than if you watch something week to week, as the way TV shows used to be released. But of course, parasocial relationships are still one-way relationships. The intimacy that you might feel as a viewer is only something you're going to be experiencing from a distance. But research did find that people tend to rate their parasocial relationships as lower than friendships. So people still find that their primary social relationships are at the top, but they actually rated their parasocial relationships higher than their acquaintances. So you feel a stronger connection to your parasocial relationship than you do to just some random person you see in class or something. So these TV personalities become, in a way, a significant part of your social network. There's some possible social effects that can result from parasocial relationships. Characters can serve as models for how to achieve your goals, especially for younger people as you start developing your identity. They can increase the effectiveness of like public service announcements, those commercials, ads you see. They're trying to tell you some information, get you to go vote, get you to be aware of some public health need or situation that you need to be aware of. Those might be more effective if the people in them are someone you have a parasocial relationship with. You might be more willing to listen to this person than some random other media personality because you know who this person is. And parasocial relationships can also increase the effects of education, entertainment programming, because again, you have that connection with the character. And so parasocial relationships, that feeling of intimacy, that connection you have toward media characters and media personalities, and how those develop over time is something that we're interested in, particularly what happens, and we'll talk about this in the next video, what happens when the character is no longer there.